one with somebody I love dearly, someone who means an awful lot to me, who's been a mentor, a brother, and someone who stood up for justice for poor and working people throughout this, not just in Massachusetts, not just in Boston, throughout the world. My brother and friend, Chuck Turner.
It doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold, rainy or snowy, we have to stand up for justice and fight back against those who want to take from us our rights. You know, well, I certainly think that GE needs to pay its fair share. That's not enough. That's not enough. The reality is that we all read the paper that half of the workers in Boston, half of the residents have incomes under $35,000 a year. Under $35,000 a year. So my question to GE, the mayor, and the governor is, what is the fair share of the jobs that GE is bringing to Boston for the workers of Boston? It doesn't make sense that as Boston residents, we continue to allow these corporations to come into our city, to use our land, to use our public services, to have all the benefits of being here, and then not share the jobs with us. We need to have Boston residents at every level of GE and all the other corporations. And from my perspective, we don't need development if development doesn't mean human development for the residents of Boston. And the only way we can get human development is to get a fair share of the jobs. So Boston, stay away if you're not going to share your jobs.
We're a climate justice group. You might, some people might be wondering what we're doing here, but you guys probably realize the climate movement is no stranger to corporations taking more than their fair share. Every year, tens of billions of dollars of our money, the taxpayer money, goes to prop up the wealthiest industry in all of human history for no reason at all other than corporate greed and well-connected lobbyists. And normally that's unfortunately just at the federal level, but there's a proposal here at the state level for Governor Baker to get in on the game and to charge all of you to pay for a whole bunch of gas pipelines that the Attorney General says we don't need and we don't want. Can I get a bill on that? They would have put a bill on all of your utility bills to make you pay for these pipelines. It's garbage. We've got money to spare. That money needs to be going to good jobs to help with people who are really struggling with everyday challenges, not with rich corporations that just want to make a bigger buck at the expense of the rest of us. So we're here to stand with you, to ask GE to be a good citizen, to pay their taxes, to end corporate handouts, and to put people first. Thank you very much.
Last year when the bridge closed to Long Island, the faith leaders in Boston got busy to do something, opening day warm centers, and I tweeted to the mayor of Boston to say, open up the bridge again. So today, I am just here to add a simple prayer. And that is, we ask God to have mercy on all the people that suffer, people who are jobless, people who have to sleep under a blanket on a grate and call that home. This is deplorable. But I'm praying to a God that offers justice today. And the prayer is simply that we call on God to look down on us and to bring fairness and equity, but most of all, dignity. This is an issue that has to do with
I'm Spencer Cole, Metro Boston. Hey, good, thanks. I talked to Cole and I talked to Eli Dozon yesterday. But something we can talk for a minute.
Sure, they make toaster ovens and washing machines. Well, they also make engines in warplanes. Okay? Is that what we should be supporting? And another thing, they make weapons that are used all over the world, especially in the Middle East, and including against Palestinians. Now, all right, now I'm Jewish, all right? Now there's supposed to be this narrative that the Jews and the Arabs and the Muslims are supposed to all hate each other and be against each other, right? That is ridiculous. We need to think of all of ourselves as together. We need to welcome refugees. We need to stop financing weapons manufacturers. And we, all together ourselves here at this rally, need to work together, all right? And forget these divisions and work together, and that's how we're going to make GEPay, and that's how we're going to make Marty Walsh and Governor Baker realize that it's people over profits.
Hey, Marty! I remember 2 years ago, you actually came up to myself and to Michael Caine. We were out in front of City Hall protesting because 500 families families were going to lose their vouchers due to the sequester. And you came up to Michael and you said to him that you would put a city line item budget into the budget. And I said, wow, I actually believed you and I was hopeful and maybe vote for you. Well, now, you know what? I regret doing that. Because here you are giving GE apartment free. I think it's $50 million, $53 million a year. Well, we could take $50 million and we could provide vouchers for all the homeless families and all the homeless people out here. That's right. Are you listening to us? And you too, GE. Fund us, the people, before profits. And thank you guys so much for coming out. It's like springtime out here.
Here we are today, standing in the snow, and in case you forgot, it's April. I'm sure this wonderful weather is making everyone super optimistic for our future. It seems year after year, climate change is getting more and more drastic, so what's the logical solution? It's, I suppose, Marty and our Lord and Savior, Charlie Baker, the same Charlie Baker who wants to lower the teen minimum wage, who so desperately wants to lift the cap on charter schools that disproportionately push out students of color and students with disabilities, who wants to limit welfare and destroy the rights of immigrants. I suppose they know what's best. The solution to climate change is to give GE $350 million in tax breaks. Let's not forget that GE consistently ranks among the top 10 polluters in terms of corporations. Let's not forget that they're military contractors and they donate money to commit acts of violence against Palestinians. How the hell are we affording this? How is it that our public schools have to take cuts and can't afford full funding, but we can give a destructive corporation the equivalent of over 1,000 Harvard degrees? It's time for Marty Walsh and Charlie Baker to start serving the needs of the people and not the needs of corporations. Invest in the future of the people, not the death of the people.
Thank you for being here. We need to bear witness to this kind of injustice. We need to stand tall. We need to let them know that we are watching and we are not, and I mean not, stand for this kind of corporate abuse. People and planet before profit. Thank you.
We're here to greet GE. We want to thank GE for bringing all of us together.
Thank you, GE!
Only GE, a corporation that large and that greedy, able to get the incredible giveaways from Walsh and Baker, could bring this group together. 34 organizations. The Budget for All is itself a coalition that's been fighting for years for a fair federal budget to tax the 1%, close corporate loopholes, invest in jobs, prevent cuts to social programs like Social Security, Section 8, education that have been cut so much in the last 5 years. So we're here today to say that GE is one of the largest corporate tax cheats in the world, in America for sure. They have parked $100 billion, $118 billion as of 2 years ago, in offshore tax havens. If they paid their fair share on that money, it would be $37 billion. And that would go a long way to restore cuts to Section 8 housing, restore cuts to food stamps, restore the cuts to Social Security that they're talking about. It would prevent cuts, bring in money that could be used for things that we need. So GE is not the only one. This is tax month. There are about $100 billion that could be gotten annually from large corporations like GE, like Verizon, like Bank of America.
Bank of America!
Bank of America, let's not forget them. Or Apple Computer. Apple Computer. The 10 largest corporations that don't pay any taxes, if they did, would bring in $100 billion a year. And GE alone would bring in $37 billion from their offshore profits.
Wow.
That's an incredible amount of money. GE is known to be they have an entire department that has more lawyers than the IRS. They invent the laws that create the tax loopholes that they take advantage of. They're geniuses. They put their imagination to work in ripping us off and figuring out how they can get away with not paying any taxes.
I pay.
You pay. Why doesn't she pay? I pay. You pay. Why doesn't she pay? I pay. You pay. Why doesn't she pay? Hey, hey, hey!
Jeffrey is inside. He's inside right now with the governor and the mayor. We have another greeting. Jeffrey Imbel, he's inside taking Marty for a ride. Jeffrey Imbel, he's inside taking Marty for a ride. Jeffrey Imbel, he's inside taking Marty Walsh for a ride.
Thank you, Michael.
Today we are here standing in solidarity with people in Western Massachusetts, people in the Berkshires, people by the Housatonic River, where General Electric is fighting a pollution settlement with the EPA. They have fought the settlement to clean up PCBs, which are persistent and toxic. They have devastated the river out there.
Oh, no.
And at the same time that they are fighting, doing something that never should have happened in the first place, cleaning up something that never should have happened in the first place, our state government is subsidizing this corporation. It is completely irresponsible. It is completely destructive. And it is completely an inappropriate manipulation of our state dollars.
Wow.
You heard from my pal Craig at Better Future Project. We are trying to do things like fight climate change, and we need to rely on clean tech companies to do that, but not ones that are going to pollute our state and try to get away with it, and then, draw on our public resources that are much needed in other places. So we should make GE pay.
Yes, pay.
And we've had enough with austerity in this state, right? The combination of drawing funds away from everything that we need to fund and subsidizing corporations. This is enough. This is enough.
Enough is enough.
Thank you.
Yay!
Of Youth Job Coalition.
What's we gonna do for the Commonwealth? Shake the jobs to take our wealth, balloon our spins to take our health. Are we constant in their little game of stealth? Take tax rates and make us pay. Are you sleeping? Are you walking? Are you walking? Take care of city rents and they won't pay. Make them pay. Make them pay. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Marty Walsh, Marty Walsh. You're giving tax rates to the poor. You don't give away the store. Make them pay. Make them pay.
Woo! Make them pay! Woo! We expect so much more from you! What floor are they on?
Make them pay! George. Make them pay!
Hey!
Oh, GE sells, bogus arguments. They claim their place of business on ghostly residents. Boston headquarters and overseas address. By the time they're through, their books are all a mess. They don't have somewhere, just like their clever plan. How much to let them steal before we take a spin? Oh, GE sells, products round here. In Dodgers federal tax bases, despite our huge network.
We were going to give some awards to the governor and the mayor, but somehow they kind of got lost in the shuffle. It gives us a reason to give them an award later on, okay? One of the things, this does not end today. We have much work to do. We have to fight for a just federal budget. We have to make Charlie Baker doesn't screw us, and we gotta make sure the same thing with Marty Walsh, because here's what we know, we can't trust these guys. We have work to do. So that being said, we are going to be meeting again 5:30, April 14th, at United for a Fair Economy. Okay, we'll be getting information out. Make sure you come. This doesn't stop here. The fight for decency and simple human justice is something that we have to do all day, every day. And I look at all the people here today who've been doing it since we were kids. It doesn't stop here. Social justice is a lifestyle. It's not a job. We got to get together on the 14th to make sure that we don't get effed. Okay, folks?
The address for the meeting on the 14th is in United for a Fair Economy. That is 60 Summer Street. So that's about 3 blocks down from the State House, where many of us will be that afternoon from 3:30 at the State House for Fight for 50.
To stay up to date with all things UMN, follow us on Twitter,
like us on Facebook,
or check out our website,